to San Diego, California for an evening of Mountain West Conference football presented by Geico. The Falcons versus the Aztecs. With John Schriffen on the sideline, Aaron Taylor, I'm Carter Blackburn. We know this, both teams had great performances last week. I think the theme maybe of this Friday evening, Aaron, is who responds to success.
One of the hardest things to do in sports is to rebound after a emotional loss. Emotional win. Both these teams played outstanding. They were emotional, they got after it. How they respond, how they get back on track, kind of like this opening comment, is going to be very important for them tonight.
Well, the Aztecs in our CDWI vision had plenty of success on the defensive side of the ball in the blue turf.
They certainly did. The Aztecs were outstanding last week on the blue against Boise State. 6 tackles for loss. They used some stunts, which are some exchanges on the defensive line that really gave them problems. They did this throughout the afternoon. They got after it and nullified an offense that still leads the Mountain West Conference in total offense, bringing safeties up near the line of scrimmage, nullifying that run game and getting after the quarterback. But Air Force, Carter, you and I saw this last week. DJ Hammond really sparked this offense, responsible for 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. Another strong performance is going to be critical for the Falcons on the road here tonight.
DJ Hammond III will get the start tonight, and what Troy Calhoun is hoping is that the rotating cast of characters at quarterback for the Air Force Falcons is now firmly in the hands of Donald Hammond III. Rocky Long, now in his 8th season at San Diego State. He's also the winningest coach at his alma mater, the University of New Mexico, and the 20-year history of the Mountain West Conference winningest head coach. For more on the Aztecs, let's check in with John.
Well, San Diego State is tonight without 2 of their key starters once again. Running back Juwan Washington is still a couple weeks away from coming back from a clavicle injury. Christian Chapman, the quarterback, was not supposed to play tonight due to a knee injury, but I saw pregame. He is dressed and was just told he is eligible to play if needed. Making the start in his place will be Ryan Agnew. He has been 3-0 as a starter. Chase Jasmine will be stepping in at the running back position. He made his first start last week in an impressive win over Boise State. One note on him, he has a nagging hamstring injury, but the coaches told us it hasn't affected him at all this year, guys.
Indeed, incredible for this team to be at 4-1 with major injuries to major positions, and that was an interesting wrinkle. You and John noticing Christian Chapman going through warm-ups.
Not expecting that. John and I were both very surprised at seeing him, but he moved around pretty good. The coaches told us in our meetings yesterday that he's been at practice, and sure enough, here he is dressed. I doubt we'll see him tonight, but a very good sign for this offense that he's on the field.
The opening kickoff goes out of bounds, which means San Diego State will have it at the 35-yard line. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups begin with the Aztecs and Ryan Agnew, the junior from powerhouse South Lake Carroll High School in the Dallas area. Began the year as the number 2. John told you all about Christian Chapman and his injury. So your 3-0 was the starter. You had huge wins over Arizona State and Boise State. And yet with Christian Chapman on the mend, maybe coming back as a starter next week, he is available tonight, Christian Chapman. So for right now, the job is for Ryan Agnew. But when we asked Rocky Long yesterday, so when Christian Chapman is ready, is he still the guy? And Coach Long's response, classic Rocky Long fashion, yeah.
Yeah, no Wally Pipp situation here, and Christian Chapman's just been such a steady leader, and Ryan Agnew, his biggest fan, he didn't want to see Christian Chapman go down.
Play fake, 2nd and 4. Here's Agnew, early deep shot, downfield, caught, inside the 20, Trevelyan inside the 10, wrestled down at the 5, and a 55-yarder through the air. Agnew to Trevelyan.
This is one of the things that San Diego State likes to do, just off of play action. The Falcons are very aggressive in man coverage. Trevelyan just gets by his defender one-on-one, makes a great catch, and a missed tackle later. They're inside the 5-yard line.
Second play from scrimmage. And already 1st and goal, San Diego State. Jasmine, cut back into the end zone. Chase Jasmine, touchdown. A quick strike TD for the Aztec offense in only 3 plays into the end zone against the Falcons.
That's the exact start that San Diego State wanted. Air Force had this defended, but it was 2 missed tackles, 3 missed tackles later. And Jasmine gets in for a touchdown in very easy fashion. Carter, we talked about mindset and being ready. This is not the Air Force defense we saw a week ago against Navy.
Dominant against the midshipmen. John Barron, the second, boots it through. Just what you expect out of San Diego State. Explosive offense through the air, fun and gun, pitch and catch, get down the field in a hurry, right? Well, you take it when the defense gives it to you. 55 through the air. Jasmine pounding it in. 7-0 San Diego State. Better falconry needed from Air Force than that. Let's check in with our principal financial game plan. The defense calculated risk, Aaron. How would you assess the opening drive?
I think their math was a little bit off on that last one. They went man-to-man and got beat. This defense is aggressive, but they've got to be a little bit more safe to not give up those chunk plays. And offensively, they've got to protect the football, something they've struggled with. When they do well. Defensively, for the Aztecs, they have to get behind the line of scrimmage and get Air Force off schedule. And this offense for the Aztecs, I think, needs to be good on third down. Only 3 for 15 a week ago. That's going to put their defense in a bind late in this game. But if they can score that easy, it might not matter what they do on third down.
The second down success was there, 55 yards. That's the longest offensive play of the season for San Diego State, the pass to Trevelyan. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups on this side of the football begin with Donald Hammond III, the sophomore from Hampton, Georgia. Makes his second start for the Falcons, his first, a phenomenal performance versus Navy. Heard from his high school coach at Eagles Landing Christian Academy, Jonathan Gass, who called DJ the catalyst for their 2015 state championship team. Said he challenges those around him to be their best by being his best. Coach Gass said he could talk about DJ for days. One of the most competitive young men you'll ever meet. End quote. Donald Hammond III, keeper on first down, and nothing much there with Parker Baldwin coming up from the Aztec spot with Troy Cassidy. Let's look at the rest of the Falcon starters.
Well, for the Falcons offensively, they've got to be able to get some things going on. Ronald Cleveland, he's the wide receiver, but they also move him to the slot back position. I think this wide receiving group, not only in blocking out on the perimeter, but also through the air, has to show up tonight.
61-yard touchdown last week. And the win over Navy. Toss, fake it to Cleveland, and here's Rimsberg on the edge for a first down and more. Good block from Marcus Bennett. Rimsberg stays in bounds and takes it into Aztec territory for a gain of 27.
This was just a fake reverse, but Rimsberg didn't give the ball back. Eye discipline, very important for this Aztec defense, but everybody bought on the fake, and Rimsberg was able to run free, and now it's the Aztecs that are missing tackles.
Both offenses flying high early until the first down handoff, and Fagan is drilled and dropped for a loss. Ronley Laka tackled for loss. Aztec deep.
Well, we talked about the importance for tackles for loss. That was just one. Keep your eye tonight on Kiaba Tazino. He is a football-playing Jesse, Carter. He and the rest of this front six unit for the San Diego State Aztecs have to come to play tonight. This is one of the best rushing offenses in the country that has a knack for wearing out defenses.
You put a G on the end of playing. I believe it's playing. Football, playing Jesse.
Got to work on my Southern.
Hammond, toss. That's Cleveland on the edge, and Cleveland shoved out near the 45. Ron Smith, the junior corner. They've gone back to the veteran corners tonight with Woods and Smith. The younger guys have played well. Yeah, there Smith is in the middle, coming down all the way across the field, just tracking, doing a nice job in the open field. He's their boundary corner. These corners have to do a good job tonight because they're responsible for the third part of the triple option, which is the pitch. And when you can defend it like that, you're in business. Hammond, draw, and gets about 3. So now you got 4th and 12. Tazino there with the stop. Air Force loves to go forward on 4th down, but Hammond in the offense coming off the field. This would be a 52-yard field goal. This is a team that prides itself going for it on 4th down. Among the better teams in the country, if not the best, but I think this is the best call here because it's safe and it really pins San Diego State down defensively.
if they can get some air up underneath this punt.
So it would have been 4th and 1, a chance to pick it up or kick a field goal. Instead, Charlie Scott tries to hang it high and pin the Aztecs back. He was terrific last weekend as well. A muff! Did Smith get back on top of that football? It is Aztec football. So Kobe Smith, who's back there, Juwan Washington, the punt returner, who's injured and out for now. A muff by Smith. Lucky to get back on top. San Diego State got to celebrate the 2015 Mountain West Championship with a win over Air Force 27-24. 7 straight wins for the Aztecs, but they've all been close games against the Falcons, which is kind of weird when one team's won 7 straight, but they've been close games.
We walked into that meeting and asked Rocky Long if he had confidence because of those 7 straight wins, and he shook his head immediately, no.
Both teams are not usually in a rush, so it figures to be a low possession football game, and so far, other than that opening series, it's been the defense dominated. This time, Brody Bagnall with the stop on Jordan Byrd.
And R.J. Jackson from that outside linebacker position doing a nice job. This defense sets the edge, forces it back inside to the pursuit. Look at all the white helmets around the football. That's good defense.
Bagnall, the senior from Vancouver, Washington, nominee for the AFCA All-State Good Works team, helping victims of wildfires in the Colorado Springs area, a special interest of his. Agnew on 2nd 11. Pressure up the middle. Agnew tucks it. Agnew gets back near the line of scrimmage, but that's it. The Falcons brought the house, and the Aztecs didn't have an answer.
They brought both linebackers downhill inside the A-gaps, and the pressure just got too much for this offensive line. And I'm telling you, Ryan Agnew feeling the pressure a little bit. He wants to throw the ball, tucks it down, but again, you got a ton of hats around the football and pretty good coverage on the back end. That's why he's got to pull the ball down. That's what we call complementary defense, when the front end's helping the back end and vice versa.
3rd and 12 from your own 4-yard line. Byrd just gets out of the end zone, wrestled down. The Aztecs will punt again. It's Moses Fafita, the junior from Washington, the nose guard, who is a big presence for Air Force.
Moses Fafita doing a nice job of what provides the kryptonite to the run game. Anytime you can get penetration, get in through the offensive line to create and take away those running gaps, you're humming. Tell you what, this Falcon defense, since that first drive, has really kind of bowed its neck and started to come to play.
They're coming after the punts. Eichland gets it away. Cleveland calls for the fair catch, and the Falcons are set up at the plus side of the 50. They'll have it at the San Diego State 41. So play fake. Here's Sanders on the roll. Sanders looking downfield, and he just missed Ronald Cleveland.
Ronald Cleveland was wide open. He was matched up on Warrior Tariq Thompson, and he was inside and in front of him. Just a play action pass, a bootleg to the left. He's got to throw across his body. Hard for a quarterback to do. But that play had legs. Cleveland was there. The ball was just off target. He was 5 yards away from Tariq Thompson. Those are the shots that Air Force has to hit to win a ball game like this.
Last 4 possessions of the football game between the two teams, nobody has a first down. Fagan trying to give the Falcons a shot on 3rd down, shoved out by Laka.
What I'm really noticing tonight about the Aztecs defensively is they're defeating their blocks. What we saw last week when Air Force was on the field against Navy was just absolute road grading. They were dominating the lines of scrimmage. Rocky Long, 7-0 against this Air Force team, has his unit ready to play tonight.
3rd and 6, but you know the Falcons are thinking 4 down as well.
They've dominated field position tonight.
He's gone for 4th down 25 times already this year. Less than a minute to go in the first. Sanders, play fake, Laka right there in his mug, so it's knocked incomplete to Zeno in coverage this time on Wagaspack. 4th and 6. Sanders and the offense are coming off.
This is where film study does you good. Ronley Laka forcing that pressure. They were waiting on that bootleg into the boundary. The ball has to be able to get rid of early. And I'm a little bit surprised here, Carter, that Air Force electing to punt, but they're playing the field position game. This is right in line with what we've seen Troy Calhoun do and be conservative. Good Lord.
San Diego State, by the way, has given up on fielding punts. This is something the Aztecs have done in the past. You have problems fielding it, just don't put anybody back there. So another punt, another 3 and out. That's 5 straight in the football game. Agnew with a toss. Jasmine on the right side on first down. Jasmine stiff arm, out of bounds at the 12.
Going back to Rocky Long, he was very complimentary of this triple option offense, saying it's the best offense ever created. More people don't run it because it's hard to recruit to and fans think it's boring, but he's had to defend it his entire career, ran it when he was in college, and he knows how difficult it is to stop. It's a possession game when you play the academy, so the decision for Rocky Long to be conservative, I think, is a good one.
Also, he was an option quarterback at the University of New Mexico, although he says, let's be clear, it was very different back then. Agnew near the goal line. He is dropped in the end zone, and it's a 2-point safety as Agnew trips on the goal line, and Jordan Jackson downs him in the end zone.
Look at that look on Rocky Long's face. He can't believe it, Carter, and quite frankly, I can't either.
The ruling on the field is a safety. The quarterback never got the ball back all the way out of the end zone.
An 11-yard sack with 7 seconds left in the first quarter for the first points of the night for Air Force, 2 of them.
And now we've got a little bit of rain, which is going to make it harder and nullify some of the ability of the Aztecs to throw the football.
Well, last year's game was dominated by Air Force in Colorado Springs last time they met, and then an hour-and-a-half thunder and lightning delay changed the dynamic of the game totally. San Diego State came back and won it. We don't have a delay here yet, but things have certainly gotten gloomier for San Diego State. So there were 5 straight 3 and outs. That streak broken by a safety. And now Air Force gets it across the 30 and across the 35. Saucier across the 45 in the rain with zeros on the clock at the end of the first quarter. Saucier brings it all the way back inside the Aztec 30. It is a 63-yard return for Joseph Saucier. Saucy in the rain. Aztecs got it started, but the Falcons fighting back. 7-2 into 1. Friday night matchup thus far between the Falcons and the Aztecs. 7-2. As if you needed a graphic to tell you what the weather is doing right now. It is raining here in Mission Valley. This microclimate did not bother Joseph Saucier. 66 yards on the return.
Missed tackle there and just well blocked, and Saucier using his vision, getting back to the outside and circling this kickoff coverage team. He was responsible for a 48-yard touchdown a week ago against Navy, showing his explosion here in the special teams as well.
And clearly Air Force is winning the battle of field position 47-15, and the Falcons starting plus territory inside the Aztec 28. It is Isaiah Sanders at quarterback, Donald Hammond III left, injured on the second series for the second straight week. Last week he came back to beat Navy. This time carted off. We'll give you an update whenever we have one on Hammond.
We talked about mindset at the top of the show, how important it was going to be able to bounce back on a short week off an emotional win. San Diego State looked really good early on, and to me it seems like they took their foot off the gas pedal, but the Falcons just never gave up, kept chipping away, and they're moving the football and playing good defense. They can get themselves in the game with a score here.
Sanders driven back, dropped for a loss on second down to bring up 3rd and 9. Connor Mitchell there with a stop. Air Force does not have a first down since Sanders relieved Hammond.
But that's going to be the problem. Look at that immediate penetration by this defense of the Aztecs. They're just doing a nice job of getting vertical. That's Keyshawn Banks, the only true freshman on the 2 deep for San Diego State, just came up with a heck of a play.
And of course, kicking game in the rain. Here's a wrinkle with an end around, and this is Andrew Smith. He's going to heave it towards the goal line, and it is either intercepted or incomplete. It is incomplete. Not even close to being a success for the Falcons with a 3rd down trick play. Parker Baldwin, 2 hands on it, but out of bounds.
4th down.
That gives you an idea of where Air Force is offensively. I don't like a trick play down here. You understand you're trying to spark your offense, but you can't afford to turn the football over. You have a non-quarterback throwing it against a defense that had 3 interceptions last week.
And into triple coverage. So Congi's going to come out for the field goal attempt. He's 2 for 3. The long is 43. And this is a 43-yard field goal attempt. Congi's 43-yarder is no good. Air Force, even with a 66-yard return by Joseph Saucier, can put points on the board. 7-2. The Falcon defense doing the only scoring thus far. Not exactly Shakedown Street in the parking lot at SDCCU Stadium, but they're fired up for the Aztecs. A year where San Diego State was not supposed to be great. I mean, picked second in the division, but then you go through all of these injuries and you're still 4-1. Now, hasn't gone exactly according to script after that touchdown drive, including the safety to give Air Force its only points, but still, somehow these gutty Aztecs 4-1 on the year, 1-0 on the Mountain West.
Well, the good news is they're controlling the line of scrimmage. They got to get this run game going, though.
Chase Jasmine, he's filling in for the injured Juwan Washington, who's still 6th in the nation with 128 rushing yards. He's out with a collarbone injury, so Jasmine has become the featured back for now.
To your point, Carter, it is impressive what San Diego State's been able to do with Chapman, Lassard, Ethan Dato, and Washington out. The time that they went out, they were responsible for 52% of these offensive yards. So basically, this is already young offense that got even younger and has still been able to produce just enough to be victorious.
That's a majority of the offensive production.
You are so good with numbers.
Agnew over the middle. It is complete. Rolling to the 35, Parker Houston. See where they spot him, and yes, indeed, enough to move the chains for the junior from Sparks, Nevada.
Tight ends are always a good friend to the quarterback because they're big targets and they're not very long throws. Some pressure off the backside. Very good job by Chad Woolsey picking that up to allow Agnew to find the open Houston.
Let's see. We had gone 7 offensive possessions in this football game without a first down between the two teams.
They're rolling.
Agnew fakes it. And now Agnew across the 50, wide open Tim Wilson for a big gain through the air. The sophomore from Plano, Texas. Ross Connors on the stop. Wilson's first start since the opening game of last year when he started as a redshirt freshman.
He's just wide open. I mean, you can't get any more open than that. The ball was late, and still Air Force couldn't recover defensively, but the 2 biggest pass plays or plays in this game have been through the air. That's what that play action can get you, is those one-on-one opportunities to push the ball down the field.
Agnew hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. They affected Agnew by getting pressure off the edge. The intended receiver, Kahale Waring.
This is what the Falcons do a really nice job of all night long. They've been able to get hits and affect the quarterback. And Agnew, you see, trying to use his body to kind of guide that football in there. It's going to be hard for that left tackle to get over there coming off that late edge blitz, but another off-target throw, the result of good pressure up front.
R.J. Jackson gets the pressure on Agnew on first down. Aztecs touchdown on the opening drive. There went only 3 plays. Agnew to the end zone again. Trevelyan hauls it in. Touched. No, it's incomplete. Oh.
That's the inconsistency that has plagued this young man. It was a corner blitz, so he ended up being one-on-one with the safety. Beautiful ball thrown right to his hands in the end zone. Got to give him a little bit of credit maybe because of the rain, but Agnew can't place that ball any better than he did. Trevelyan has to catch that.
I think Rocky Long agrees. That is a touchdown you take away.
Here, I'd like to see the Aztecs run a screen because of all this pressure.
8th play. Agnew winds up, tossing to the end zone again. This one's intercepted, picked off by Jeremy Fedulum. So you miss the TD on 2nd down and then throw a pick. Only the second interception thrown by a San Diego State quarterback this year. Only the third pick by the Falcon D. It's in the end zone. Still 7-2. Meanwhile, Sanders in relief of the injured Donald Hammond III. Still no official word from the Falcons on Hammond. Left in the second series. Air Force doesn't have a first down since. Sanders going to hand off. There's a first down, and Fagan, he may take it all the way. Ron Smith able to run him down at the 35. Smith saves a touchdown by chasing down Cole Fagan, but it's still a gain of 41.
Keep your eye on the right guard here. Just a beautiful job by Kyle Krebs, doing a nice job of caving in the defense. This is the fullback dive, the first option of the triple option that this defense up until that last play has done a wonderful job stopping.
So with Sanders at quarterback now, Saucier and Fagan in the backfield along with Ronald Cleveland.
That'll wake you up.
Sanders looked like a design run, and he is shoved back on the edge. Tariq Thompson, the sophomore from San Diego's St. Augustine High School.
Yeah, he's right here locally, played for the Saints. He's a reliable, sure tackler, had a one-handed interception a week ago. Maybe they can move him to wide receiver, but that's the sort of safety play you need to be able to defend this offense. He's come up near the line of scrimmage and been very physical tonight.
Aztec legacy. Dad Tracy played DB in the 80s. Doug Seville. Second and 9. Sanders looks to pass, throws complete. It's Gerard Sanders who makes the grab short of the first down. Third and short.
That's that accuracy that we talked about when Isaiah Sanders came into the football game. They really like those hitch passes to the right. We saw all these quarterbacks, particularly Donald Hammond III, throw several of those in the game a week ago. San Diego State, you got to hold your water. Air Force likes to run to the boundary at times in these situations. Watch that play clock. 5 seconds left.
Sanders snaps it. Sanders keeps it. Sanders has the first down. Diving to the 22-yard line to move the chains. Banks finishes it off.
That's the lead follow. They fake the handoff dive. The tailback comes and the lead blocker for the quarterback. Sanders showing a great ability to run inside to pick up the necessary yardage to move the chains. He's doing a nice job on this drive moving this offense.
Big one, 41 yards on the run from Fagan. Bordeaux gets the fullback handoff this time, pushing inside the 20 as Air Force seeks its first offensive points of the night.
The Aztecs making a hockey line change, switching out its defensive line, trying to give those guys a break and to be fresh. You see Rocky Long, one of the best coaches in the country, one of the longest tenured coaches in the country. He's had tremendous success against this offense.
First red zone trip for the Falcons. Fagan pushing close. Going to be first down. Move them. First down just outside the 10, and Air Force again is in no rush. They're bleeding time as well.
None whatsoever. This is an offense that loves to shorten games. It's death by paper cut when you play against a triple option.
And check to the sideline again.
One-on-one situation up at the top if they want to take a shot.
It was 4 straight 3-and-outs prior to this drive. Cleveland on the edge. Good block on the edge, allowing Cleveland to get into the end zone. Touchdown Air Force. Joseph Saucier threw a saucy block on the outside to get Cleveland in from 12 yards out. The first offensive points of the night for Air Force. Falcons take the lead.
We talked about the athleticism and the explosivity of Ronald Cleveland. He showed it there on the toss sweep. This wet surface caused one of the defenders to lose his footing, and Cleveland walked easily into the end zone. Air Force right back in this ball game.
Cleveland, the senior from Franklin, Tennessee. On the ground, Air Force, a 41-yard gain from Cole Fagan. Ronald Cleveland with a little help from his friends. Successful falconry. 9-7 start, and it sounds so sweet. Falcon football, 4 straight 3-and-outs, and then a team effort on the ground to get in the end zone.
Yeah, they were assisted by San Diego State all the way along, but there's some great jobs here. Here's Saucier with a great block here. Here's Bennett with a great perimeter block here. And then you have Ronley Laka, excuse me. That's Baldwin right here, who's going to lose his footing due to the wet field, and a good move by Ronald Cleveland. And man, almost a give-up tackle that time by Ron Smith, 17. And don't you know it, Carter, the Falcons are back and now on top. And take a look at what Air Force has done. The most allowed by San Diego State rushing yards this season. That was going to be the test of wills, and so far, Air Force is winning that battle.
That is Bird, and Bird's going to bring it across the 25. He gets to the 29-yard line. Agnew, deep shot, Trevelyan goes right back to him after the drop in the end zone, and Trevelyan hangs on to this one around Dalen Sutton.
That was actually a really nice catch, the way that he tracked the ball and showed some body control. This time it's press coverage. Just a little bit of a stutter step, then uses his speed, a little bit of a push off, and then is leaning back and has to track the football, showing some good hands this time, very in contrary to the touchdown that he dropped in the end zone a couple series previously.
Gain of 28 on this one. Well, Trevelyan nearing 100 receiving yards in the first half, despite the drop in the end zone. Bird gets maybe 2. That is Bird, the true freshman from Albuquerque, New Mexico. How about this? His 4th career carry went for a 72-yard touchdown across the blue turf in Boise. That's getting it rolling early.
It was unbelievable to watch his speed and electricity turn on when he got that toss sweep into the boundary off that orbit motion. Boise State's a pretty fast defense, but he left those dudes in the dust.
Let's see. They have a reset of the... They're not going to pump it? All right.
This ball quick.
Yeah, they stopped it and then didn't reset it to 25. So Agnew does snap it, and now Agnew on the roll. On second down, Agnew's going to toss. First down. Wilson takes a big pop after he makes the grab to move the chains again.
Really nice job by Agnew that time. Brody Bagnall was giving him some pressure, but on the move, he puts the football on the money. Just finds the outstretched hands of Tim Wilson for a nice gain and pickup. It is clear that San Diego State is really having trouble running the football tonight, but Agnew and his arm, after he settled down a bit, despite the pressure, is coming up big here late in the second quarter.
Interception by Ryan Agnew. Last time they had it. Now Jasmine in the backfield on 1st and 10. Nothing doing there. Your guy, Fafita, making his presence felt.
This defensive line is taking it to the Aztecs up front. That's a big load of laundry right there, old Fafita.
Sese Fafita. Snohomish, Washington.
Oh, look at that. But look at that press and the way he gets his extension in his hands out and pushes Guadino back into the backfield. That is textbook nose tackle play up front, and a big reason why that play went for no gain. Got to play with your hands when you're playing D-line, Carter. You remember that from high school.
You got shock and shed.
I love it. Violent hands.
Agnew on 2nd and 10 to the end zone. This one's incomplete. Trevelyan will Sutton in coverage there. This one we're not going to pin on Trevelyan.
They went back to the well maybe a little bit too much here. I mean, this is a football that is right there. I mean, and that's been the story of this kid. It's been feast or famine with him. And I asked Jeff Horton about it in our meeting, and he's like, yeah, it's improved, but it's still been a challenge for him. That should be 5 receptions on 7 targets easily. They put him up over 100 yards that he caught those 2.
And 2 touchdowns. Agnew, 3rd and 10, scrambling pressure, tosses it dangerously back across his body. Fafita nearly had Agnew. Johnson nearly had the pick. 4th and 10. And the kicking unit will come on.
This is just winning your one-on-one matchup up front. This is what you have to be able to do. Fafita, look at that left hand, just gets that extension and pushes Guadino back into the backfield in a very bad decision to throw that football with no velocity by Ryan Agnew across his body.
Shock and shed. 43-yard kick coming from John Barron, the second, to put the Aztecs back on top.
Lefty needs to hit this one.
And from 43, it is no good. And Air Force hangs on to a 9-7 lead. Missed opportunity. Another one. 2:29 to go in the first. Air Force found its way offensively. Last possession, an 80-yard touchdown drive. It's Isaiah Sanders at quarterback. Donald Hammond, the third, left second series. Then the Falcons didn't have a first down until going 80 yards touchdown to take the lead. Fagan gets 3 here. Winding towards 2 minutes. So we've said throughout the night, I mean, neither team is in a hurry. So, I mean, 2-minute offenses almost don't exist between the Falcons and the Aztecs.
This can be an explosive offense. We've already seen that tonight. So San Diego State needs to be careful.
Out of the Falcon timeout, 2nd and 7. This is Fagan pushing across the 35. So 3rd down coming up. I mean, you're rolling to a minute 35, backed up. We'll see.
Yeah, the strategy here is pretty clear when they didn't rush back up to the line of scrimmage. They just want to ice this clock, go into halftime with the lead, and protect this football at all costs.
You got the lead. You get football to start the second half. Still grinding it out. Sanders, the junior from Colorado Springs, Palmer Ridge High School, changing the play. On 3rd and 2, Sanders bobbled it, got it back, gets shoved back. Noble Hole leads the way. The senior defensive tackle making his 30th career start. Hole shoves Sanders back, 4th down coming. And if you're Air Force, you can use up all of this clock. Use timeout, maybe even a delay game, and give it back to the Aztecs with.
And the Falcons just getting themselves warmed up despite the loss of their starting quarterback. Going to go in at halftime with a lead.
Bobbled and they got it. They got the punt block. 13 seconds. Scooped up. 10 seconds. Near the goal line. Touchdown. San Diego State on the punt block. The Aztecs regain the lead. Seconds before the end of the half. Hemphill blocked it. Thompson gets on it. Touchdown, San Diego State in special teams. Falcons just trying to get it to the half with the lead, and the Aztecs steal away the football.
A cacophony of errors by both of these teams tonight. San Diego State coming up on the lucky side of the muffed long snap and the blocked punt. Troy Calhoun told us we have to win the turnover battle to win this game. That was a costly one for the Falcons.
Mountain West after dark. Fireworks here in San Diego. 14-9 San Diego State at the break. So an opening drive touchdown on 3 plays, 7-0. A safety, an interception. Air Force is flying high until they're not. Aztecs lead it at the half. 20 special teams touchdowns in the Rocky Long era. The Aztecs have won their last 12 when leading at the half. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, John Schriffen. We're going to call these highlights from the first half, Aaron. Let's just say they were significant plays.
They were significant plays, and neither team really played very well.
16 rushing yards for the Aztecs. That's incredible.
That's only 16 more yards than you and I have, Carter.
I mean, this is a team that averages 189 when they go over 200. They've won, let's see,
0 for 5 on 3rd down.
Yeah, that is Look, San Diego State 2018 has had a weird season. 4-1. They did a good job against Bryce Love and Stanford, but the Cardinals were able to win that one convincingly by 3 touchdowns. Ever since, everything's been tight, including big wins over Arizona State and at Boise State, but they're also tight against Eastern Michigan and against Sacramento State. Let's check in with John.
Well, I spoke with Air Force head coach Troy Calhoun, and I asked him about the injury to his quarterback. He was very tight-lipped, didn't want to give me much as to the specifics of the injury to Donald Hammond III. However, he did tell me it is not likely we will see him in the second half. As for San Diego State, I spoke with head coach Rocky Long, clearly frustrated with the way his team has played in this first half. I asked him what kind of second half adjustment he needs to make. He said, look, we just got to start blocking people.
We've gotten to know both these coaches very well over the years, John, and that is precisely what you would expect out of Troy Calhoun. Regardless, Sanders gets a couple.
So your problem is you're not thinking, you're just being logical.
Well, if you're looking for ways to keep the clock moving, one way to do it is to actually keep the clock moving. I digress. Maybe perhaps later we'll have a further discussion of clock management in college football in late game situations, perhaps.
This would be the game it would happen, for
right.
Sure.
Sanders going to keep it again across the 30. 3rd down and 3 coming up after the stop by Parker Baldwin.
This is exactly what staying on schedule looks like for Air Force. Get yourself to a 3rd and 3. They love this situation. They don't get tight at all. This could even be 4-down territory with the way things are going. They like to move people around. They have Remsburg in that wing position. Keep your eye on him.
That's Remsburg motioning now. So on a drive to begin the second half that started with a timeout because they couldn't get the play off. They're into 3rd and 3. Fullback handoff, just enough. Fagan, late push, gets the first down to move the chains to Zeno with another stop.
Nice physical run that time by Fagan. Just hitting it right up inside. These plays hit so fast. Good job by that second level. Trenton Thompson was there. Tariq Thompson was there. Tariq Thompson looked like he got banged up a little bit on that one. Cole Fagan, the 230-pounder, brought the wood there.
Sanders across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Tazino with another stop. Tazino has 9 tackles in this game already, had 17 his last time Physical Service Academy team, Army in the bowl game, and they did not play well. That's Trenton Thompson, who had the punt block recovery for a touchdown, and Thompson is out of the game for now. So Taylor Hawkins, the sophomore, in at one of the safety positions for San Diego State.
The way Fagan came through that A-gap on that 3rd down play makes you...
Give it to him again, and there's Fagan with another good push. Ron Smith stood him up. Gang of Aztecs finish it off. Move the chains. Fagan gets just enough again.
Beautiful run. This is exactly what this Air Force offense wants and needs to do. They want to eat clock. They are more than happy to take 3 or 4 opportunities to move the chains and get to the line to gain. With the trouble that San Diego State has had running the football, this is exactly where the Falcons want to be offensively.
You've used a timeout on this drive. You've also used 3 minutes, and you're only at the 46-yard line. Toss Cleveland. Looking for the edge. Saucier block, and it'll be a tackle for loss by Parker Baldwin. Shoving Ronald Cleveland out. Air Force sideline thought there should have been a flag. None thrown.
Parker Baldwin going in motion. You see he's tracking Cleveland the whole way. Fights through the block. Great job by all the second-level defenders there, not allowing Air Force to be able to get to the perimeter.
Connor Mitchell hobbles off for San Diego State. Defensive end, so he's in the injury tent. Trenton Thompson came off 2 plays ago.
Mitchell's shown up on tape the last couple of weeks.
Sanders, incomplete. Let's check in with John.
Well, guys, 3 players have gone to the sideline with injuries for the San Diego State defensive unit on this drive. Trenton Thompson is currently in the medical tent. We talked about Mitchell. You just saw him hobbling off. Kyrie Woods is also on the sideline. He was holding his left arm. Medical staff was looking at him as well. So 3 key players not out there for this defense.
And, John, that just adds on to the list of San Diego State injuries.
Chibu Onyuku's not playing in this game either. He's been quite the playmaker on that defensive line for San Diego State, and he's not out there either.
Saucier on the edge, battered but still making plays. The San Diego State defense with Baldwin there on the edge to force 4th down.
Really great job on 2nd and 3rd down. They take away the dive, they force the pitch, and it's just great pursuit and defeating blocks on the perimeter that forces the punt here by the Falcons. Parker Baldwin was huge on that last series.
With his defensive teammates in the injury tent, Baldwin makes the plays. Bird is back for San Diego State. This time Scott gets it off. Bird calls for the fair catch. He has it at the 16-yard line. 14-9 Aztecs. Ryan Agnew and the offense get it for the first time in the second half. Nate Wetterauer from Puyallup, Washington shoots these time lapse for us. Beautiful San Diego Harbor in San Diego, California. It is, Aaron, as they say, America's finest city.
Great place to live.
Jasmine across the 20, near the 25. Let's see who's the best in the West. Brought to you by Best Western. Hawaii, a surprising 6-1 overall record. They're out of conference this week against BYU.
The run and shoot offense by Nick Rolovich is on a roll. All 3 of these teams receiving votes in the top 25 this week. None appeared there, but there's some big games in the Mountain West Conference West Division coming up. Hawaii plays Fresno State on October 27th. And in San Diego State, the Aztecs, we've got some big ones towards the end of November.
2nd and 3, Jasmine around the edge, down the sideline, big gainer for Jasmine. Finally shoved out by Kyle Floyd, but San Diego State trying to find a rhythm in the run game. This one goes for 19.
This time it's just a power with a fullback trying to lead the charge, running into the short side of the field or the boundary. Jeff Horton going back to the drawing board, trying to get old Jasmine, who's got some speed, to the outside in the perimeter. The Aztecs largely tried to run up inside early on in this ball game with no success. The change of the perimeter seems to have worked.
27 rushing yards in the second half on 2 plays after they had only 16 rushing yards in the first half. Why not give it to Jasmine again across the 50? Well, this is exactly what Rocky said to John Schriffen. We got to figure out how to block better in the second half, and they apparently are figuring it out.
We talked about the Air Force aggressiveness coming off that outside edge. R.J. Jackson kind of sealed himself, and Jeff Horton, he's one of the better offensive coordinators, certainly a great recruiter of running backs. On the top of his play sheet, he's got run the football and stay patient.
Exactly right.
His patience is going to be tested here in this ball game.
We are committed to running the football. Is with Jeff Horton. I wrote that one down. I think it was maybe 3 years ago, and it has not changed at all. That is what San Diego State, even when the Falcons are selling out and hold you to 16 in the first half.
Well, all coordinators have to know their role, Carter, and Jeff Horton, being the offensive coordinator for Rocky Long, who's a defensive-minded coach, knows that he's better sustain some drives, run the football, chew that clock up, so that Rocky Long's defensive unit can be rested anytime they get back out on the field.
It's a winning formula. So here it is. Play fake. Agnew. Deep shot. Incomplete. Intended for Waring over the middle and Fedulum there in coverage. So wasting no time after an hour. How long do you think they've been stewing on that one?
It was funny. The in-stadium PA announcer right before that snap simply says 3rd and 10. 1st and 10 rather. Oh my gosh. But true to form, after the long delay, Ray Agnew trying to go play action on 1st down takes a big shot because of this aggressive Air Force defense.
Jasmine on 2nd and 10. He was wrestled down, and 3rd down.
Oh man, it's been a crazy game all the way around. This offense for San Diego State really struggling to get anything going. You take a look at their average yards to go on third down, virtually no first and second down success yet to convert a third down. Let's see if that break kind of changes their luck here. This is the exact situation we've seen them miss and come up short 6 straight times.
3rd and 9. Agnew down the sideline. It is batted away. Last second downfield intended for Kobe Smith. And it's Dalen Sutton who knocks it away. The Aztecs are still over on 3rd down. So add that to another list of weird things about this game. You lead 14-9 without a 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, and they're 0 for 6 on passing on those. They've tried to take some deep shots, obviously, because of down and distance. But because of their inability to be able to run the football, they're trying to rely on the arm of Agnew and coming up short again.
Heiklin hits it near the 50. And it'll be downed inside the 5 by San Diego State. Sanders, here's the toss. That's Rimber off the edge. Gets out of the end zone, gets near the 10-yard line before Darren Hall knocks him down. And Isaiah Sanders is the Air Force quarterback since the 2nd series when Donald Hammond III went down with a leg injury. The only thing we know about Hammond's injury at this point is what John told us from head coach Troy Calhoun. He won't return in this game. Did not look good when he left. So Sanders, who has started 2, one of 3 Falcon quarterbacks to start a game this year. Sanders, Hammond, and Arian Worthman. But in the 2nd straight week, it's Sanders in for the Falcons to replace an injured Hammond. On 2nd and 6, this is Sanders. He's going to keep it and meet a wall of Aztec defenders who drop him, forcing 3rd down. Cassidy and Tizino combine on the stop.
That was a naked quarterback keep, basically a zone read concept for this offense. Does a good job. The defensive end crashes in on the dive. He gets out there by himself. But again, that great pursuit by San Diego State. Look at all the red helmets around Sanders. How many 3rd and shorts have we seen? San Diego State, when they're on offense, it's 3rd and long. Air Force, it's 3rd and short.
Air Force went 3 and out last possession. Prior to that, it was an 8-play, 21-yard drive. Play clock ticking down prior to 3rd and 1. Sanders keeps and sneaks and has enough for a 1st down to move the chains for the Falcons.
We talked about kind of the plodding nature of this offense. Very happy to have plays like this. They're right on schedule. If they get 3 yards a clip, they'll take 4 downs to get an opportunity to the line a gain and move the chains. At some point, these big plays come out on the perimeter, Carter.
I was going to say, the way it's going right now, they could wind out the quarter and still be at the 30-yard line. Sanders, has a seam, and here knee nearly broke it. Parker Baldwin got him from behind. It's a gain of 8, but could have been a lot more.
Just a great job here of a fake handoff, and then he takes it and ends up being a lead, and the middle of that defense just goes wide open. Just one of the many examples of all the different wrinkles that you can run off of plays you set up throughout this entire game. One of the most diverse and multiple offenses I've seen with the triple option.
2nd and short. Sanders on the run. He's going to toss it. Cleveland has it. Cleveland has enough for a 1st down. Shoved out by Tizino.
It's interesting. If Air Force could have its way, Carter, this is what they want to control the ball, control the clock, and limit the offensive opportunities for the opposition. This is a classic standard triple option type drive that we've seen Troy Calhoun and this offense create. They're having some success on 1st and 2nd downs, which leaves them in great position to keep moving the chains on 3rd.
Their 1 touchdown drive was 9 plays, 80 yards in the 2nd quarter. Have the safety, the other 2 points up there for Air Force. Sanders stumbles, gets across the 45. Tizino makes another stop along with Tariq Thompson. And by the way, I haven't mentioned it all. This is new turf at SDCCU because Beyonce and Jay-Z were here on the 27th. Part of that agreement was new turf after the concert.
Bebe was here? Oh, man. Well.
And Hova.
Good looking on the turf. Seems to have withstood this this rain pretty nicely.
There were more people at the concert
than tonight. Play nice.
Well, when you have an hour lightning delay, that's
like, we don't know what to do when it starts raining in San Diego now. Like,
I was about to ask you.
They might cancel school on Monday.
I mean, that is a strange situation to have a lightning delay in San Diego. Air Force crosses the 50. Here's a toss. It was behind Saucier. He's driven for a loss, but he was able to hang on to the football. Most importantly, Taylor Hawkins of the Aztecs, not the Foo Fighters, gets the tackle for loss on Saucier.
Just been really impressed with the Aztecs all night long. Their perimeter defense of the third option, which is the pitch, as we saw there. Actually, that was only two options there. Kind of a midline look, but they've done an extremely good job of tackling outside.
Waning seconds of a very long third quarter. Fagan gets the handoff. It's maybe a yard. And at long last, we are headed to the fourth quarter in this Friday night Mountain West Conference matchup between the Falcons and the Aztecs. After a lightning delay of over an hour in the third quarter, 14-9, Aztecs on the Falcons, headed to the fourth. 14-9 here in San Diego in the fourth. That hour-long weather delay kept us from, until this point, giving a huge congratulations. All of us at CBS Sports welcome Madison Dell Middlebrooks. Jenny Dell, mom, dad, Will Middlebrooks, a lovely, darling little girl. And we are so thrilled for Jenny and Will. On 3rd and 18, Sanders caught right at the sticks, and Air Force converts on 3rd and 18. Sanders to Sanders.
Gerard Sanders just with the deep in-breaking route. This ball was dangerously thrown in traffic, but great job going to come back for the ball. I couldn't see who that was. It looked like Parker Baldwin was trying to break on the ball, maybe trying to get himself an interception instead of breaking it away and forcing the incompletion. But no different, no sooner than we say, hey, how are they going to convert 3rd and 18? They pull it off.
Throw it up in the air and see what happens. So now Sanders, keeper 1st and 10 with a little pep in his step. He gets a couple yards before he's pushed back again. Darren Hall, redshirt freshman corner. Versus Boise State. An interception, forced fumble, a sack, 9 tackles. He's played 5 games and twice been Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
Unbelievable, this kid. Coach has said he probably wouldn't play a lot tonight because he's more of a cover corner, as those stats you just threw out indicate, but he's plays physical around the line of scrimmage from a couple of the plays that I've been able to see him over the last couple games.
Sanders dropping, throwing, 2nd and 9. Bobbled and incomplete. Saucier couldn't haul it in. Ron Smith able to provide just enough distraction.
That ball hit Saucier in his right hand. This very well could have been caught. Saucier on the wheel route breaks free. He just can't bring it in, and that's how close Air Force is to breaking this game wide open. We've seen some ugly passes get completed, and that one came up just a little bit short.
Remember, they converted on 3rd and 18. This is 3rd and 9. Sanders play fake. Sanders pressure, throws over the middle. They convert again. Now inside the 10. 1st and goal, Air Force. Here come more flags. Wagaspack makes the grab and maybe going half the distance to the goal at the end of this one. 3rd and 18, 3rd and 9. Both converted on a tough drive for the Falcons.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 32. Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's Taylor Hawkins, the other safety. Just a great play action look. Wagaspack just sits down in the hole of the zone. The 2 safeties overcorrected. But you see that left hand at the very last by Hawkins gets him in trouble.
Last two third down plays, 40 yards, plus the penalty, half the distance to the goal. First and goal from the 4. Cleveland takes the toss. Cleveland is stretching. He is in. Touchdown, Air Force. Falcons back on top. 3rd and 18 converted. 3rd and 9 converted. And then Ronald Cleveland into the end zone in the rain. Air Force regains the lead.
What an impressive drive by the Falcons that, remember, started on the plus side of the 50 thanks to the good field position. Because of the Aztec offense, we talked about Ronald Cleveland at the beginning of the show as we see the Falcons going for 2 here smartly.
So Sanders on the roll. He's looking for Cleveland again.
There was contact.
It is caught. 2-point conversion is good. Right back to Cleveland. 2 rushing touchdowns and a 2-point conversion grab. Air Force with a field goal lead in the 4th. Trying to snap the 7-game losing streak to San Diego State.
Ruling on the field is a catch. Good for a 2-point try.
Well, when you need plays, you need your playmakers to step up. It was Ronald Cleveland lining up in the backfield as the running back, trying to make plays, putting his foot in the ground and showing some physicality, running through arm tackles to get the touchdown. Then he comes back on back-to-back plays with the big catch to put the Falcons up by 3.
So in the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, it is a big leg up right now for Air Force because that commanding win over Navy. Army won it last year. Each of the 3 service academies has won a Commander-in-Chief's trophy in the past 3 years. Jasmine from the goal line gets out, gets across the 5, gets to the 7. Bullard on the stop. So yeah, 15, 16, and 17. It was Army's first since 1996. But Navy 35-7 loss to Air Force last week. And Ken Niumatalolo's words, they were whooped.
We saw it. They certainly were. They're just not nearly as physical as we're used to seeing that team be.
2nd and 7. Agnew in the air. Waring, there's a flag down. Kahale Waring, the tight end.
Pass interference. Offense, number 87. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Well, they take the incompletion and 3rd and 9. It's not often you see offensive pass interference and an incompletion.
And there's pressure again there in Agnew, but clearly the push off didn't push off far enough because he still comes up short. Waring does, trying to bring that football down.
Last 2 possessions by the Aztecs have been 3 and outs. They still don't have a 3rd down conversion in the game. Agnew from his goal line. He's going to step up. He's going to try to reach the outside on the run. Agnew scrambles. 1st down. He's still in bounds all the way out to the 39. The first 3rd down conversion of the game for San Diego State comes on a scramble from Agnew all the way from his end zone. A gain of 32.
This was the biggest play of the game for the San Diego State Aztecs. It does several things. It gets them in better field position. It basically flips the field, but more importantly, it keeps the drive alive. That route concept were double posts on that left side of the field, so there were no defenders over there, and Agnew makes them pay.
Back to the ground. That is Busby, B.J. Busby, the redshirt freshman from Long Beach, trying to get the football in his hands. And a solid game for Busby.
Busby's one of those younger, electrifying players. His average 19 yards per catch this year. Had a fumble last week in the 1st quarter on a wheel route. But a nice little run there as he starts to get older and matures a little bit. He could be a nice weapon for this offense.
Falcons show pressure on 2nd and 5. Here they come. Agnew hit as he throws, clearly affecting the quarterback, getting on Agnew. And he has missed his last 9 pass attempts, Ryan Agnew.
And that's Chase Jasmine. He's got to do a better job of bowing the linebacker Kyle Johnson up. I know he's only 195 pounds, but this has been happening to Agnew a lot because it's a quick pass and a quick throw. He's near the line of scrimmage. You got to bow your neck and be a little bit more physical if you're a running back in pass protection there.
7 for 23 passing. 3rd and 5. Try it again. Agnew on the scramble. That's how we got the last one. Agnew's going to have to toss it downfield. Caught inside the 25-yard line. Kobe Smith, the true freshman, on a scramble drill. An improbable Aztec drive continues, a gain of 32.
There was pressure again. Agnew had to break outside the pocket. This is just a beautiful throw on the run. He throws it across his body to be able to keep it in bounds, and just a tremendous pitch and catch. The second 3rd down reception or conversion, but they may want to take a look at that. That ball was bouncing around a little bit, but it looked like a good catch there.
In the books now. Bird wrestled down for a loss back at the 31-yard line. So it's Jackson who leads the way again. This drive started at San Diego State's own 6. So as you pointed out, I mean, this was field position. Obviously, you won points out of it in a low possession game. Yeah, there's still 6:30 and there's 5 timeouts total, but there's not going to be a whole lot of chances.
And you can't have any more tackles for loss, or you're going to start to get outside of John Barron's range. They're in field goal range now. They've got to be careful here because they can tie the ball up on this drive.
Agnew over the middle, wide open. Parker Houston inside the 10, inside the 5, walks into the end zone, untouched. 29 yards on the TD, and San Diego State regains the lead with 6:10 to go.
Just the perfect play call, Carter, into a double cross dog blitz where both inside linebackers crisscross, try to get after the quarterback. That vacates the space that Houston takes advantage of, and it's a simple pitch and catch and run. Drags the defender, makes one miss. Now the Aztecs about to go up by potentially 4 points.
John Barron II makes it necessary for Air Force to get a touchdown. 6:10 to go. So nothing doing for the Aztecs offensively. Then you get a 3rd down conversion and you roll 94 yards to take the lead in the rain. Kind of sums up San Diego State's season to say you don't have a 3rd down conversion until well into the 4th quarter. Agnew was at one point 7 for 23 passing. And yet he now has a career high. They go 2 for 2, 94 yards in a hurry. Agnew has a passing touchdown. Sitting on potentially 4-0 as a starting quarterback. And the Aztecs threw everything 5-1 touchback here. 1st and 25 now for Air Force. Sanders draw nothing. He is dropped at the 10. 2nd and 25. Now remember, Air Force did convert on 3rd and 18 on the last drive. They also converted 3rd and 9, but not near where you want to be.
No, it's not. And one of those passes was very lucky to be caught. They kind of put the football in harm's way and got away with it. They can ill afford to make a mistake here, especially on this part of the field.
Just over 5 minutes to go in regulation. Sanders hit as he throws, heaves it, incomplete. Intended for Sanders again. Tizino drills Sanders, and there's the signature Kiava Tizino fist bump after you drill the QB.
That's what he does, man. Here he is. He's just going to get down. Nobody picks him up. You have to be able to account for him, but that's what this 3-3-5 defense does. They typically don't bring more than you can block, but you never know where they're coming from. This time, Tizino comes up right in the middle, brings up in a 3rd and extremely long for the Falcons. Guy gets after the quarterback now.
3rd and 25. Sanders just going to have to heave it. Anybody's football. It is incomplete. No choice here. You have to punt it back to the Aztecs with 4:52.
That ball never had a chance. If you're Isaiah Sanders, you've got to give your receiver an opportunity to catch that football. That time there was no pressure. But he wasn't the quarterback that started this game. Those are the sorts of throws that Donald Hammond III had been making in these last two games. They sure could have used them on that last third down.
Conky punting. We think Charlie Scott may have sustained an injury. No official word from Air Force. But Conky punting. Bird back. Bird ridden out of bounds near the 45. Could have been a face mask in there as well, but no call. Lots of chatter. Aztecs with a lead in the football. 4:44.
But this is the most important drive of the game, obviously.
Agnew, Jasmine, left side, gets 4. 2 touchdown drives for San Diego State. The first of the game, only 3 plays. Jasmine hobbled getting back up. And no, he's going to have to go to the sideline. His teammates clearly pointing him to the sideline. Jasmine going to need some attention from the training staff.
You love the heart, but you got to come out, man.
Right.
He took a dinger there. Good looking out for his teammates. It's hard to see exactly what happened there, but this is a 4-minute situation, Carter.
Yep, that's.
You look at that play clock there.
Bird to near the 40. Air Force going to use timeout. Troy Calhoun spent a lot of time on clock management. Used the timeout perfectly timed there to get it stopped prior to third down, maximize it. So you have to get it back at some point.
Falcons have been aggressive all night. Don't expect them to stop here. They should bring it.
3rd and 5. Play fake. Agnew chased all the way back at the 45. He's sacked.
Wow.
So 4th down coming. Floyd gets the sack. Timeout used there to preserve 40 more seconds. It's a loss of 16 and perfect for the Falcons. You stop the clock twice, you get the sack. Loss of 16, and now it's 4th down. Falcons will get the football back. No timeouts, but you've preserved all that time on the clock in a 4-point game.
Here he is right here at the bottom right of your screen. Look at him stay home. He sees it, takes off, does allow him to break contain, but shows great athleticism and gets Agnew on the ground. That is the worst possible of all scenarios that the Aztecs could have had offensively there. And just another great stop by this by the Falcon defense. Has been playing pretty dang good all night long.
High snap. Heitman just does get it away. Cleveland back. Has it at the 17. Somewhere in there he called for a fair catch. So 3:42. You'd love to have a timeout left for your offense. Yep. But Troy Calhoun uses the 2 on defense. You get the critical 3rd down stop.
There's a shot. One of the playmakers on the outside edge that this team has. It's got to be a nice mix of both run and pass. They're going to need Isaiah Sanders to come up with his biggest drive of the day here.
2 possessions ago was a touchdown drive, but that was on a short field, just 40 yards. Nothing much doing on 1st down.
No, you understand them trying to go back up the middle. Fagan broke that big 42-yard run earlier, but the Aztec defense seemed to be ready for it.
Sanders at quarterback. In relief of the injured Donald Hammond III, and a deep shot. Sanders downfield, and it is picked off. Parker Baldwin holds it in. And with 3:10 to go and a 4-point lead, San Diego State football have to go deep at some point, but it ends up in the hands of Baldwin and the Aztecs.
Great protection that time. Sanders had all the time in the world. He just simply overthrows it, double pumps it, and Parker Baldwin, showing great ball skills, goes up, and his first interception of the season, Carter, is one that saves the game potentially here for the Aztecs.
No timeouts for Air Force this time on defense. So 3:10, San Diego State is a 1st down away from going 5-1.
Ball security is of the utmost importance here.
Williams, the tailback, just about a yard. And again, you're down to your third, fourth tailback at this point. Washington out with a collarbone injury. Chase Jasmine. I'm not going to speculate, but he's clearly on the sideline. I think they may have taken the helmet away from him. And so Kagan Williams. He didn't play at Boise State, but here he is in the fourth quarter, just trying to hold on to the football with 2nd and 9 because can't take it all the way down without a first down. But if you move the chains at this point, ball game's over.
Yep. If you're Agnew, you want to snap this with about 2 seconds or 3 seconds left.
Williams on the left side. Williams gets the first down. Did he step out? We'll see. Now, he does get the first down. Yes, he does. And with 2:19, 4-point game.
Ball game.
That's the ball game. Should be the ball game if San Diego State executes it properly, and the Aztecs are used to being in this position.
This is just a weak side ISO where they isolate the fullback on the play side linebacker. Great job by left tackle Tyler Romer there. May have gotten away with a little bit of a hold, but when they needed a play into the boundary to move the chains, Keegan Williams gave it to him. Excellent job.
So tackle for loss, but again, it's academic at this point. This is just get the clock down, snap it late. Our Old Trapper player of the game, and we're going to give it to the young man from LA, Salesian High School, Kiaba Tizino. Just a wrecker.
Just a downhill football playing Jesse, as we say. He's a physical box playing linebacker, can apply pressure 2 weeks in a row. Pressure that he forces creates something good in the takeaway category for his team. Just an impressive player. Really came on in the second half of last year and been huge this season so far.
Snap it on 2nd down with 3 seconds. Williams can also take a knee at this point.
I'm a little curious as to your point as to why they're not doing that. I'm really glad you said that, because victory formation is the best play in football. And I wonder if it's because their rushing numbers are so paltry, only 84 so far, that they're trying to get it back. But to me, snapping the football, having the quarterback take a knee a yard or two behind the play is much safer, because it's only one exchange between the center and the quarterback than the extra exchange between the quarterback and running back.
Well, guess what? We get our wish. Oh, boy, over the top on a kneel down play, trying to get the football. And clearly Agnew is down. And then over the top goes Kyle Johnson. And now Troy Calhoun's going to walk out there. And what he's having words with some of the officials. As this game is winding down now, Troy Calhoun is out there with the officials. I mean, this gets potentially a little ugly at the end, with Johnson trying to go over the top on a kneel down play and Troy Calhoun walking off with the officials. Now, through it all, Rocky Long and Troy Calhoun shake hands as the Aztecs win their 8th straight over the Air Force Falcons in a truly bizarre football game. Somehow, some way, San Diego State is now 5-1 on the year and 2-0 in the Mountain West Conference in a weird one. John Shrippen is with Aztec head coach Rocky Long.
Coach, congratulations, a big win as always, but this was just a bizarre game. What kind of an impact do you think the weather had on this one?
Well, obviously, when you sit in the locker room for an hour, you have no idea how either team's going to come out and play after that. I thought the whole game was a little bit sloppy, and part of that might be the weather. But as always, they are a very tough physical football team, and that's the kind of game it was. And it was close at the end, and we were lucky enough to win it.
Your offense seemed to wake up there late in that fourth quarter. Your first 3rd down conversion on that touchdown scoring drive. What changed for your offense there?
We had a couple guys make a play. I mean, we weren't making any plays, and our quarterback scrambled around and got a first down, which was a big play. And then later on, he threw a pass and the receiver made a great catch on it. So we made a couple plays that we weren't making earlier in the game.
You told us that you have a very young team and you're not sure what to expect game to game. What did you learn from your team tonight?
That we're very young and we make way too many mistakes, and I don't know when that's going to change. Probably not till next year.
Coach, congratulations, big win.
Thank you.
Oh, you just gotta love the The straight shooting Rocky Long. And that's exactly what happened. It was a weird, sometimes ugly football game, but the Aztecs win it, and they're 5-1. For Aaron Taylor, John Schripp, and our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, we'll send you to Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Danny Cannell for Inside College Football, presented by Go RVing.